Now, I have no idea what Gonzo was smoking when he said that, but he might have been onto something, and this next team certainly shares in that insight. Let's watch.
This is a laryngoscope. The doctor uses it by placing it into the person's mouth and then pressing the tissue down so that they can look into the mouth and know where to place an air tube.
This laryngoscope is old, ugly. It's about 40 years since its last update. It can break teeth and cause trauma to the patient. I wouldn't want it down my throat. We're all biomedical engineering students here at Georgia Tech. We got together last semester to work on a project together, and then we decided to take it to InVenture.
When I worked at Grady Hospital a couple summers ago, I found that a lot of the doctors were having trouble with intubation and placing airway tubes. So I thought it'd be good if we could work on laryngoscopes, which is what they use now to perform that.
We'd worked on this project for a while. We really weren't getting anywhere. We were just kind of brainstorming, throwing ideas around in the lab one day, and then Jacob out of nowhere had a pretty good idea.
So I just said, why don't we use a magnet?
When Jacob spoke up, everybody listened because he's such a quiet guy. As soon as Jacob said the magnets, we knew that this could be something.
There's a lot of different methods for intubating people that don't really work so well, and I thought this was a simplistic, straightforward solution to a very complex and challenging problem.
When we started testing it, we were immediately shocked to see how well it worked. You know, we were used to seeing these intubation procedures where, you know, there were tubes flying everywhere and metal in people's mouths, and we just slid this through with the magnet in place, and it just worked.
When I first saw the device that the students had developed, I was blown away. I think it's an amazing device. It's probably going to change the way that we look at intubating people in the next 5 to 10 years.
All right, great idea. 3 minutes, guys. Use your magnetic personalities, okay?
How would you feel if I were to tell you that one of the most common medical procedures, one performed almost 50,000 times a day in the United States, had a failure rate of 23% in emergencies? Well, this isn't just a dream, this is a reality of intubation. The procedure of placing a breathing tube in a patient. And everyone here will be intubated at one point in their life. And they'll use this, the laryngoscope. And I know I can't speak for everyone here, but I know I do not want this in my mouth. But we believe, it's heavy, we believe that patient care shouldn't involve hurting people. It should feel like you're doing good. So with that in mind, we invented this, the MAID. It's really simple. This is a breathing tube, and you see at the end here, these are actually magnets. So that then, when you take this, the guiding magnet, and place it on the patient's neck and push the tube in, the two magnets work together to guide the tube directly into the airway. And you can see we performed this on a model trachea, the same trachea they use to train paramedics. And you see without the magnet in place, it goes nowhere near. But the moment that the magnet is placed, it glides effortlessly, and the magnets pull it directly into the airway, making a very simple, easy way to perform intubation. And the doctors we've shown this to, they love it. They love it. And they all ask the same thing. They ask, why isn't this in my hospital? So I can talk about this all night, really. But it's one thing to hear it, but you really got to feel it for yourself. So Jacob's going to place the guide magnet in your hand and then place the tube under it. So you can feel the gentle pull of the magnets, the same pull that guides it perfectly into the airway. And contrast this to the laryngoscope, where you're placing blades in people's mouths. You know, it should feel like you're helping people, not hurting them. And with this, you can feel it yourself. And so we're looking into getting this into doctors' hands as fast as possible. So we've spoken with experts who have told us that our devices will be categorized as a 510K exempt status for the FDA, meaning that we have the quickest, fastest route to market of any medical device. All we have to do is prove that it carries at least the same risk as current methods. And as you saw for yourself, this isn't going to be breaking teeth anytime soon. So when we look at the market for intubation, the current market is well over $60 million a year just in this country. So we're going to be taking 10% of that market in our first year out. And this is actually a completely conservative estimate when you consider the pace at which new technology tends to dominate the market in the biomedical industry. So when you look at the big picture, everyone wins. Patients are happy because they get the care they need. Doctors are happy because it makes their job easier. And hospitals are happy because they're not getting sued for breaking patients' teeth. And doctors are working more effectively than ever before. And we've already begun looking into the future. We've spoken to people in one of the largest biomedical companies about getting this to market. We've already talked to investors about how to start raising capital to make this real. So we've got our map, we've got our foundation. So, I mean, we're ready to make this real. We're ready to start saving lives.
All right, let's get right to it with the judges. Greg, you start off on this one, okay? Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Greg goes first. Or David goes first. I'm sorry, David goes first on this one. I apologize. I have my orders.
Very elegant design.
Yeah.
Very elegant. My understanding is intubation gets more difficult with patient weight. Have you tested that?
Currently, we've tested on the model trachea you saw and mannequins. So we haven't been able to test on varying weights yet, but it's definitely something that's within the range of what this device is capable of. It's just a matter of finding that correct magnetism, which can easily be found through further testing.
All about optimization at this point.
So as a bioengineer, I just want to tell you that this is a real problem, and you've chosen to work on something that is truly, truly a clinical need. So I just want to note that. My question is pragmatic. Magnets in the hospital suite can be problematic. Was this a design constraint for you? And if so, how did you account for it? Is it a storage constraint in terms of the packaging and how it sits in inventory? Can you comment on that?
I think you're best equipped for this.
At this point, it really hasn't been an issue. I know that this sounds silly, but we've had it next to all of our computers, our cell phones, our everything. We forget it's in our bag, and it hasn't caused any issues. So I guess that's why it hasn't been like a need to do right now kind of thing, because Jacob's laptop should be broken by now.
You know what? I just want to say you guys did an excellent job of making me feel the pain and then offering me the solution, which problem solution is really important, and to have somebody understand it in 15 seconds or less is powerful, so well done. I do have a question, though, in regards to, you know, when she was mentioning the magnet. What, in your words, is your biggest concern about this? I mean, you guys...
Quick answer, too, by the way. Go ahead.
Like, if you had to say, what is your own concern? You're the closest to it.
I would honestly say when he mentioned the obesity, since you know, that is becoming a problem in America, making sure you have the right optimization for the strength of the magnets and moving forward, that's probably our biggest adventure, I guess.
All right, great job, team. Thank you very much. And let's go to Bahara, who's with some of their loyal supporters. Where are you, Bahara?
Miles, I'm actually here with